LeBron, how do you put a series like this into perspective, even this soon after it, and having it be this close, but they end up ultimately winning 4-5?
First of all, you tip your hat to them. Defending champions, super great team, super well coached, and you tip your hats. I mean, they made the plays down the stretch, to win this series, and so you get credit where credit is due. That's for sure.
Couldn't be any closer to when you just got off the floor, but have you given any initial thoughts of what comes next this summer or for next season?
No, I just want to get home to the family, honestly. Start looking at the schedule. Obviously, I got, my son. One of my boys is just trying to decide if he's gonna, enter the draft or go back to school. I got another kid that's playing AU ball right now. My daughter's playing volleyball, and my wife is doing so many great things. So it's about family right now. And then in a couple months, I got to go to Vegas for training camp. So, I got to rest my body for USAB. But that's kind of the initial thoughts.
LeBron, along those lines, if and when Bronny enters the NBA at some point, if you're still in the league, how much of a goal is it for you to play alongside him on the same team?
I don't know. I haven't given much thought lately. Obviously, I thought about it in the past, but at the end of the day, the kid has to do what he wants to do, and I don't even want to say kid no more. The young man will decide what he wants to do and how he wants his career to go. So, I just think the fact that we're even having a conversation is pretty cool in the sense of that, but we'll see what happens.
LeBron, in respect to your answer to Mike, I'm just curious if you could give us some sense of the things that you'll weigh as you go towards the decision for year 22 or beyond, and just maybe a thought on how taxing it is to remain a professional basketball player at this level in year 21, age 39 years old.
I don't have an answer to your first question, to be honest. Haven't given it much thought. Obviously, at some point, I'll sit down with Rich, my agent, and sit down with my family and see what's best, what's best for my career. So, we'll cross that when we need to. How taxing is very taxing, mentally, physically, spiritually, everything. I mean, to be able to, to just play this game alone, and then to try to play at a high level is very taxing. It's a lot of dedication, a lot of hard work, and a lot of long hours. So, it's very taxing, but, it's rewarding because if you love the game and you love the process and you love being great, then you don't mind. You don't mind taking the tax on your body and your mental and your psyche and things of that nature that comes with it. So it's okay.
LeBron, with the way you guys finished the regular season and competing with the defending champions, the way that you guys did, does that give you or still any further confidence in this group if it stays together? Obviously, that includes you, but just this group as a whole.
No, because we lost. I'm not a participation guy. We lost, and you move on and see how you can get better. But our season has been derailed all season with just like injuries and guys in and out. And I talked about it all year. If he was around us all year, I said it's hard to say who we are, what we can be, because we have yet to be whole. I think we was only probably whole maybe one or two times this year, and I know one of them was during the in-season tournament. We got whole, and we showed what we was capable of doing. But we was just hit with injuries after injuries after injuries, and it was just hard to come back from that.
Yeah, Anthony, first of all, clearly you had been very consistently effective on both ends and offensively in a rhythm again. MPJ ran into the shoulder. Can you just describe kind of what happened when you had to leave the floor and then how it felt once you eventually got back?
Yeah, I guess it was like a little stinger. I just lost function, lost feeling from my neck all the way to my hand. And then, I get back in the game and, I get hit again by KCP. It just made it a little worse. But obviously knowing the importance of the game, just try to get some feeling and stuff back in the hand and the back with my trainer, and then just try to come back out there and just help the team get the win.
What's the level of frustration or for you about a missed opportunity, about kind of that happening at that point and the control that you guys seem to have on it? and then to kind of battle back and see Denver hit a couple more big shots down the stretch. How do you square all of that?
Yeah, man, it's tough. It's frustrating. We put ourselves in a position to win every game in this series. Didn't pull out some wins that we feel like we should have, but tonight, just especially in the situation where I get hit in the shoulder, it's just tough. Just knowing, obviously I was just in a rhythm offensively, but it's an important game. You want to be out there, and it's, I was just very limited with the shoulder, but still try to go out there and just leave it on the floor for my team. But it definitely frustrating. Just kind of been our thing all year. Seawood, Vando, Gabe. We're not making any excuses or anything like that. Denver's a hell of a team. Defending champs. It's just tough. Just going out like that.
AD, we're used to seeing you with LeBron in this setting. So many playoff games over the years and so many accomplishments, and really it's hard to separate you from him in your time as a Laker. He has a big decision to make this summer. What's going to be your role in being a friend or a teammate as he goes through that process, and what do you think you guys could do together if he does, come back to the Lakers?
Yeah, I mean, he's been in this position numerous times in his career where he had to make a decision, ultimately for himself and his family. I'll be right there supporting him, whatever he decides to do. I'm not sure. I don't know. I mean, it's still fresh. I mean, I'm pretty sure it's not even on his mind right now, but pretty sure he'll come talk to me, tell me what's going on before he, become public with the decision, just to keep me in the loop. But yeah, I mean, obviously it's been, a great 5 seasons with him. If he do decide to come back, obviously this isn't where we want to, be. We want to be left at, losing in the first round. If he does, obviously our goal is to come back and be a championship contender. Stay healthy and give Laker Nation what they deserve. But he has a decision to make, and when that time comes, he'll inform me, inform you guys.
AD, you played a career high 76 games in the regular season. Entering tonight, you were averaging 31 and 16 regular season career high in rebounds. Your shooting percentages were right at your career best numbers. What, if anything, do you feel like you proved or sort of reproved this season? And how much pride do you take in how many games you played in being able in year 12 to play career best?
Yeah, man, it's all to my trainers. Did a great job with me this summer, making sure that I'm able to stay on the floor throughout the season, making sure I'm able to stay on the floor, even with little injuries, able to play through them just because of all the work that we put in through the summer and through the season. So I take pride in that. I take pride being on the floor to help my team win. I feel like I did a good job of that this year. Playing 76. But, yeah, man, it's all credit to them. Put a lot of work in the summer to be able to, have my body go through, the bumps and bruises and the ups and downs of a long and taxing season and obviously going into the playoffs where it's a lot more physical and, the minutes increase. So, just the hard work from the summer through the regular season and then, through the first round.
You guys went, I believe it was 19-6 with after the starting lineup, the last starting lineup change, close to the regular season. Obviously, you guys just battled with the defending champions, despite how the series ended. Did any of this, I guess, further instill confidence that if you guys are healthier and if you guys keep this group together, obviously that include LeBron and D'Lo, that you guys could get closer to competing for the ultimate goal that you guys strive for?
Yeah. It's all about, continuity. And like I said, a lot of our guys were, out of the lineup. Really missed games. Gabe missed a lot of games. Vando missed, a ton of games. Seawood. But, I think we found something towards the end of the season with that lineup. Obviously, some guys in the locker room who has decisions to make. But, I think the way you continue to compete for championships is kind of keeping the core. I learned that just from being in New Orleans. My time out, I don't even know how many teammates I had. And it's tough. I mean, you look at a team like Denver, Boston, Golden State, all these teams who've done, unbelievable things. Their core group has stayed together, and you add supporting cast around that and not make too many changes. But it's different when a lot of guys, have a lot of player options and, got to make decisions that's best for them and their family. So, we'll see what happens over the course of the summer, what guys decide to do. But just watching and just knowing from experience the way you continue to compete for championships is keeping that core group together.
Anthony, at the end of the third quarter, when you went back to, I assume, the locker room, I'm guessing that's where the trainer was working with you to kind of get the shoulder right. What exactly did he do to, what did they do to kind of help you get loose there?
I couldn't even put it in terms. What they did is do what they did their job. I couldn't really explain it, kind of digging into my scapula and stuff like that to kind of relax the muscles and everything like that, the nerves and stuff. But I just saw, obviously, guys fighting and keeping the game close. I just wanted to go back out there no matter what and try to help the team win.
Eddie, you talked about wanting the best for LeBron, but also keeping the core together for championships. When he makes that call to you, are you one to recruit him and try to convince him?
Absolutely. I feel like, we complement each other. We've done something special together. Good thing about it, I'm going to be with him all summer. So have a lot of conversations and things like that, but he know how I feel about him. Like I said, he's been in this game a long time, ending season 21, and he's been in this position a couple times to make these type of decisions. And, if he kind of asks my opinion or whenever we talk about it, I'm obviously going to try to recruit him back. But ultimately, he's old enough where he's going to make a decision, whatever is best for him and his family, knowing that, his time is limited in this league, probably a couple more years left. So, his goal is obviously to win. I feel like we can do that here, but ultimately this is how he feel and what he decides.
Austin, just first on tonight, you hit a lot of big shots late, hit the three to go up and, trying to defend on the other end. What was that like for you, coming through, but then watching Denver also converting and just the back and forth of that mentally?
I just thought it was high-level basketball, and at the end of the day, they got the, last shot to win it. Jamal hit a tough fadeaway over me, and yeah, it's tough. It's tough to think about right now. Obviously frustrated, but it was a lot of high-level basketball there towards the end, and pretty much this whole series.
I'm sure it's tough to answer a bigger picture question, but did you learn anything about the composition of this team? Really going back to the Western Conference Finals last year, now this series, makes some progress, but they still win 4-1. As you can think about going forward as a Laker.
Like just in the stuff that we need to do better, or like
Take it, yeah, just however you want to take it. You as an individual, you as a team, moving forward.
personally, in this moment, I'm frustrated with myself, not really playing well the first couple games, and even into that game 3. I wasn't good enough. I hold myself to a high standard because I believe in myself. And those first couple games, I didn't do what I needed to do to help us, win one of those 2 or 2 of those 3. And yeah, I'll think about that all summer and train to be better and try to come back and, like I said, be better next year.
Austin, I guess you and AD are 2 of the more significant players to be under contract. We know moving forward, and there's some options ahead for LeBron and D'Lo in particular as some of the more impactful players. Have you guys had any discussions about, even not necessarily post-game today, but about what the future of this team looks like and wanting to stay together and just kind of how do you view this group moving forward?
For me, I just really enjoy being around these guys. You could go down the list, and everybody on our team is a joy to be around. I've spoken about it a billion times about my relationship with D'Lo off the court, or golf a lot together, and then obviously Bron and AD as well. They're I consider them my friends. So as long as I can play alongside one of them, if there's anything I can do to help that be possible, that's what I'll do, because I believe in what we have, and I believe that with another summer of getting better, and then preseason we could make some noise.
A couple of people brought up the idea of health as being kind of the one thing that really went against your favor this season. With that, do you think there's enough here to do what the Lakers are always looking to do in terms of win championships?
I mean, health is a part of the game. I don't think you'll ever see a team go through a full season and have no issues, no guys have time out. But I think that also, builds you together at the same time too. There was nights where Bron and AD were out, or just Bron, or just AD, or D'Lo, and you have to come closer to achieve winning. And we did that multiple times this year. But yeah, I think fully healthy, we have a really good squad. It just wasn't enough this year.
Austin, I know you don't like talking about your game and kind of individual stuff, but you had a big summer. Last summer, you entered the season with a lot of expectations, a lot of scrutiny, a lot of attention. How was this season for you, and how would you kind of assess your 3rd year in the NBA overall?
Like you said, it was a long year, making the run into the Western Conference Finals, and then playing for the USA team and the FIBA stuff, and then diving right back into it after that. There was a lot of up and downs this year, and one thing I'll say about myself is I'll never give up. I think before Game 15 this year, I was moved to the bench. So there was a lot of things that, happened this year that, you had to be mentally tough to get through. You got to fight your way through it. And, that's one thing I'll give myself credit for is, I never folded. I never, felt sorry for myself. Obviously, there's frustrations, but I woke up every single day and went to work and, tried to get better and tried to help our team win. And that's all I care about is winning. And, obviously there's things that, I can always do better to help us win, but, every single night I go out there on the court, that's my main goal is to win. And at the end of this year, obviously today, I can say that, that's what I did.
Back to tonight's game, how do you describe what you saw from AD in the 3rd quarter?
how scary was it, how playing through that injury and how much that changed you guys? It seemed like that's when Denver got back right into it.
Yeah, I mean, I've spoke about it a billion times about how important AD is for us. You know, we have so much, you know, so many guys that are talented and can do many things, but without AD, we aren't anywhere close to what we, you know, were or want to be. You know, his presence offensively, his presence defensively, you know, I think more times than not gets overlooked. I don't know why, but what he does for us is incredible. And tonight, you know, when he went down, you know, first thing you want your brother to be okay. And then, you know, you could tell throughout the whole third quarter, fourth quarter, it was bothering him, but there wasn't anything that was going to keep him off the court. And that's, you tip your hat to a soldier like that. And, you know, I ain't got nothing but love and appreciation for him.
Angelo, how do you try to put the disappointment of a losing games like this and ultimately a series like this to a team second straight year when maybe the gap was closer in many of the games? How do you handle that as a player when you enter an off season, and what's the kind of frustration versus just how you're going to feel usually?
I mean, you deal with it now, and then tomorrow it's over. So for me, I left it all on the table every game. Shots fall, no shots, whatever. I didn't half-ass it, so I can live with that.
Have you given any initial thought to what's going to come next and kind of your time with the Lakers since the trade happened last year, going into your option for next year?
No.
D'Angelo, this series, it was 4-1, but obviously you guys had your chances in every game, and you know I think there was a stat that you may have led for more minutes than the Nuggets did in the entire series. What was this group able to do to reach, you know, a higher level of playing as the season went on? And do you think it's the type of group that, if given more time, can even get even higher and be the type of team that wins the championship?
I think throughout the season we got better, even with all the injuries or whatnot that kind of set us back. Guys came alive. If it was AR, obviously Brian and AD do their thing. If it's myself, guys had spurts throughout the season that kind of gave us energy, gave us a new light, gave us some positive reinforcement, you know, whenever we were down. So for us, I think as far as if we'll be better the longer we're together next year, the year following. I think that's something you got to have a core group of guys, core coach, you know, and you practice continuity and things like that from day one. I don't think that's just something you just throw a group of guys together and figure it out. So I don't know.
D'Lo, you were open about dealing with adversity at various points this season, but you obviously overcame that and had a monster second half of the year. Just looking back on the totality of everything, how do you view this season and what you feel like you proved?
Oh, hell of a year by D'Angelo. Humbly saying that, through the ups and downs, through all the whatever you want to call it, never bothered me. Always kept myself sane. And when I look at my phone, my family, my friends, my circle, you know, is texting me, telling me how proud they are of me. So for me, that's all I need. I don't need anything else.
D'Lo, I know you say you haven't given much thought to the player option, but what are you do you know what you're looking for in terms of next season, in terms of situation, or just what will appeal, I guess, to D'Angelo Russell for the 2024-25 season?
I mean, I didn't say I don't think about it. I just, when I signed my contract last year, I knew what position I was going to put myself in. So to be in that position now with a little leverage, I'll try to take advantage of it.
Rui, in a series like this where just there were so many different pivotal moments and things were tight pretty much throughout, what did you think was the biggest difference in Denver coming through and winning the 4 out of the 5 games?
I mean, yeah, just since I think in the last years, you know, we've been struggling against them. We tried a lot of different stuff and try to adjust, but you know, they're a very good team, and you know, we finally got one. yesterday, 2 days ago. But yeah, they, they're just very experienced team, and we just couldn't, beat them. So yeah, it was a tough one. It's the same thing as last year. We lost them, and then we ended the season. So yeah.
How do you track your season as an individual, and coming through this playoff series as you now enter an off season, and where do you think the key will be for you heading into next year?
Yeah, I think the first 30 games I was an injury and all that, so I was in and out the rotation, and finally got back, and we kind of started rolling, and it was we had a good stretch last 40 games or something before the this playoff game. So I think what we said that we've been building these chemistries, and I think we got better for sure since last year. But this playoff, we faced the championship team, and we couldn't beat them. But I think we got something from this year, so we just gotta keep building it and just go for the next year.
Rui, we came into this season with you telling us about spending your summer working out with LeBron and kind of the understudy role. How has that relationship been meaningful to you, and what is this team without LeBron? If he makes a decision to either move on from the Lakers or move on from basketball?
Yeah, I mean, that's a tough question. I don't know. I never thought about that, but yeah, just last year, like you said, I spent a lot of time with him, work out with him, especially with him, I feel like he don't really work out with the people, the guys. So I was really appreciate the time and, the energy he spent with me, and, I learned a lot of stuff, and I think I was able to do that this season. I kind of, watch him closely and, work out with him. It made me more confident, and just the whole season, throughout the season, I think me and his chemistry too, got much better than last year. I feel like, I see his basketball, IQ and all that. So yeah, it's an honor to be around with him, in his journey, and playing with him. Yeah.
Rui, you guys went 19-6 entering the playoffs with the current starting lineup. You led the
19 and what?
19-6 with the current starting lineup entering the playoffs.
Okay.
You led this series for almost 70% of the series. What do you feel like you guys showed over these last 2-3 months in terms of just the ceiling and what you guys could be next season if you do end up staying together?
Yeah, I think this is the team, we can be the championship, we just gotta, keep building it, it's like you guys see all the teams winning, they've been building for years, and, I know, it's just it depends on the team, just every team has a different situation, but, those are the ones winning, so we just gotta keep building it. I think we just, like you said, this past 30 games or whatever, we had a great stretch. I think we beat most of the teams in the league except them, and just our chemistry was so good. I think playing with these guys, I had really fun. Just on the court with them, off the court, it's just I felt very comfortable around with these guys, and I had fun. So, I think we have a lot of chance next year too. I think we're in the right track. I feel like it.
Rui, kind of on that note, just playing, you mentioned this, I think, last time we spoke to you in LA, how Denver's continuity, they're able to solve things because of that. Just playing them the last couple of times over the past 2 postseasons, and even how you guys finished the season with the continuity, does that give you confidence that if you guys do come back together, you guys can
for sure
just compete at the level you expect to or hope to?
No, for sure, yeah. We just, I think we are, most of the game we were right there, just little stuff it didn't work out, but I feel more comfortable and confident compared to last year. You know, when we played in the West Conference final, I think this year we are more comfortable to play against them. So yeah, we just gotta, you know, try to beat them every time we see them from now on. It's just is the thing, you know. Unless we beat them, we can't go to final. So we can be the champions. So you know, we gotta focus on that for sure.
Taurean, first of all, just to have a game go like this after, you know, what had happened in Game 2, you know, how tight Games 1 and Games 3 were. How do you guys square that against the whole season and this kind of furious push that you've been on trying to get up the standings, get into the playoffs, and to have it end like this?
Well, I mean, I think we did enough to get in the playoffs. I just think the way we lost the series hurts more so than the loss itself. I think we put ourselves in a lot of good positions, just couldn't execute when needed.
I know it's immediate after the game ends for a big picture question, but how would you evaluate in your season with the Lakers, kind of like what the fit was and how that evolved as the season went on?
I'm a Swiss Army knife, so I feel like I can adapt in any situation. I just try to stay available. That's been my main thing over the past 3-4 seasons, just being available and having that ability to have my name called. And this year I played, I think, 78 games, the most I've played since my year 3. So I think all the injury-prone questions and things of that sort are out the window. So it's just time to get stronger, get better, and continue to shoot the shell of the ball.
I got 2 for both of you guys, but Vando first. Just, I think you played 29 games. Obviously, the heel, then the foot. Just how frustrating was this season for you personally, in light of the injury issues that you experienced?
It definitely was frustrating, you know, not being available, and you know, it's been a long year dealing with injuries and, you know, trying to get healthy and be there for the team. So it definitely was frustrating, especially knowing I could have contributed to some of the stuff we were lacking this year. So definitely was frustrating.
Can you kind of describe, I guess, the process that it took? I know you were available tonight, didn't play, but it took the past, I think, 3 months to just get your foot to a place you felt comfortable, I guess, being available or playing on.
Yeah, I mean, the thing with foot injuries, you know, they just take time. And I put myself in position to be prepared and give myself the best chance to, you know, potentially play. And I think, you know, going through attacking the full rehab process and doing everything possible that I could to, you know, put myself on the floor. So, yeah, that was the process.
At the end of this, if you guys could both answer this, Coach said the one thing going forward next year is about staying healthy. Knowing what unfolded this year, how does that happen? How do you equate to that?
I think just controlling the controllables. I'm sure if everybody could be healthy, they'd be healthy. If they wanted to be healthy, they'd be healthy. So for myself, when guys are injured or going through that process of coming back, I don't take it lightly. I show a lot of support, especially being somebody who's been in that position before. So obviously the name of the game is to be healthy, but sometimes you can't control that. So you got to deal the cards you're dealt.
Taurean, can you share some thoughts that you had when you saw Murray taking the shot and it's going in?
Yeah, I mean, he's a great player. He came out the pick and roll. Definitely feel like we could have been in more of a help position, but at the end of the day, he made the shot, and we're going home, so it's not much to talk about now because it's not like we can fix it for next game. We just got to individually look at the tape and see what we can do better for ourselves and the teams.
Taurean, I know the game just ended. Bigger picture question: have you given much thought to your future? I know you're going to be a free agent this upcoming offseason.
No, I have a beautiful fiance at home, beautiful kids at home that I'm excited to get home to and be a dad, take my kids to school, and enjoy extracurricular activities, go on some day dates with my fiance, and enjoy that time. I really don't know what my future holds. Obviously, I would love to be a Laker. That's number one goal for me. But at the end of the day, I'll be wherever Allah wants me to be.
Jared, just now that you're going into the off season, how do you feel like where your foot's at? Is there anything else that you feel like you have to get to with it, or at this point is it kind of onward and you're not something you have to concern yourself with?
Like I said, it's just a process. So just continue to attack the rehab process, and I got a full summer ahead now that I can fully lock in on getting healthy. Not only my features, everything, and just locking in on my routine and just my rehab process. So, like I said, it's going to be a process, but I got all summer to lock that in.
Spencer, how do you try to put that in perspective as an athlete, just kind of, the pain of the defeat when you're close, and what's your kind of personal way of handling that?
Shoot, I don't. It's tough, man. I mean, obviously, we lost to 2 game winners, right there to win. Super talented group. I mean, obviously, we don't have any recourse. We ain't got nothing but the off season now. So, reflect on it and just build in the summer.
I'm sure it's difficult to reflect, a couple of minutes right after the game ends, but you're your season, you come into a team, try to play a role that's different from one that you typically did. How do you evaluate that as you think about heading into the offseason?
In terms of the performance with the Lakers?
Yeah, and just the whole thing, like you coming here and
Yeah, I mean, I think, I came in, I feel like I was really selfless, like bought into a role, tried to play defense to the best of my ability, tried to help out. Had some nice moments. And, I mean, we'll see what the future holds.
How do you sum up this series? It's 4-1, but pretty much every game it was competitive. You guys had significant leads in every game as well. What do you think the difference was?
I mean, probably just a little bit of attention to detail, execution. I mean, obviously, we had leads. We played well in spots. I saw the stat or whatever where we led for like most of the series. Obviously, they're a championship ball club for a reason. They execute. They're really sharp. And they just do their jobs at a very high level.
Spencer, you mentioned what the future holds. Do you have any idea of what you want to do the summer you're going to be an unrestricted free agent?
I mean, obviously, I'm not somebody that necessarily gets to call his own shots all the time. You feel me? Like, that's not my status in the league. So we have to see what happens. But, obviously, if the Lakers want me back, I would love to be back. I mean, everything I said about, this being a childhood dream and being able to play in my hometown, parents at every game, stuff like that. I mean, you couldn't imagine anything better. Also playing alongside arguably the greatest player of all time, right? So, there's nothing really better than that. But you know how it is. Lakers are championship or bust, which means there's probably going to be changes made. And it's all going to be in the effort to win that title. And, obviously, if I'm able to be a part of that, it'd be another dream come true.
Just kind of on that, how did being a Laker, either personally or professionally, benefit you?
I mean, like I said, realizing a dream, I think, is always a benefit. That's always some fun. I mean, career-wise, I can't necessarily say there was benefit per se. I mean, obviously, like we talked about, this wasn't a role I normally play. I mean, I guess I got to show some defensive prowess, but obviously, a lot of people still expect me to do the other stuff. So we'll see, if that's in the cards in free agency. And then, I mean, obviously, we didn't have the outcome we expected. So, I don't know about professionally for now, right? But, in general, like I said, coming here in the manner that I did, end of the year, stuff like that, like, it was all about buying into a role and trying to help this specific ball club, accomplish whatever we could. And, I think, I did that, right? Like, for the most part.
Gabe, how do you guys fight that kind of not just the deja vu factor of having a couple of game winners here in this building, but just how tight the series was, and nonetheless Denver finding a way to win 4 of the 5?
Yeah, I mean, I think we competed, we fought, we had a great game plan. We put ourselves in a position to win. He made a tough shot, great shot. Credit to them.
Probably hard for you to immediately reflect on the whole season, especially when you were injured for a lot of it. How do you kind of process that as you go into an off season and attempt to enter next year in a different position?
Just proud of the way we came together towards the end and had a good run towards the end. Fought hard during this series, learned a lot about ourselves and so forth.
Gabe, when we talked to Darvin, I asked him if you could point to one thing that this team could have used this year to maybe reach its goals next year. You said it would be health, and obviously you're one of the players that went through injuries to your knee this year. What was that like for you personally, and how did you feel like that was a factor in the season for the Lakers?
I mean, first things first, definitely not going to make any excuses for us, but injuries hurt everybody this season. Definitely played a role with us, played a role with key guys with us. With myself personally, it was frustrating. Obviously, you want to go out there and compete every night, not being able to, but I did what I could, put my work in on the rehab side to put myself in a position to come out here and help my guys compete day in, day out. So, back to the drawing board, back to getting healthy, and we'll see what we can come back with next year.
Gabe, you guys have several guys under contract for the foreseeable future, including yourself. In terms of, you mentioned kind of getting to learn with the group over these last few weeks since you returned. What, I guess, did you learn about your place in this core group and what you guys could be next season?
That's a tough question with a limited amount of sample size there. I think we're a very talented group, and when the ball gets moving, I think we're pretty hard to guard. And I think it took us some time to find our flow with that, and as we did, we had some success late. But definitely looking forward to more time with this group and hopefully get some continuity together and have a great year next year.
Gabe, this is obviously a Nuggets team that could be in the finals again. They're defending champs. How do you process how close this series was, having those leads and processing that? Are you so close or are you so far?
Oh, everything matters. Definitely close. I think we played them very well the entire series. It's just they're a team you have to play 48 minutes against. 43 isn't enough, 45 isn't enough, 46 isn't enough. They're very, very talented, well-coached, well-organized unit over there, and credit to them, like I said.
Gabe, obviously, got asked about the injuries. Just physically, how did you end the season feeling, and does it give you, I guess, confidence or momentum heading into the offseason to, I guess, build back up?
I mean, tough end, obviously, with the loss, but, summer provides the opportunity to get healthy and work on your game, so looking forward to that.
Thanks, Gabe.
Appreciate y'all.
Well, Jaxson, first on tonight's game, how do you guys square just the emotions of it, being up a lot of the game, much like you were in game 2, and seeing another buzzer beater essentially go in? How do you take that as a team?
It definitely hurts, seeing as that shot knocked us out for the year. So that one definitely hurts. We just got to go back and see what the plan is for next year. So that's really it.
And you individually had kind of settled into that role as the backup big. How did you feel like your season evolved, and how did that go throughout this playoff series?
Definitely struggled to start the year. I definitely struggled a lot to start the year. Just in and out the rotation, not knowing when I was going to get minutes, having very inconsistent minutes. And then I felt like when Coach benched me for that month and a half, I was able to sit back and actually figure out how I can try to help this team more. And I feel like as the season went on, I tried to grow more into my role and just being the backup and bringing energy and stuff. So.
Jaxson, I know this is in the immediate aftermath of the game, so I apologize for the timing, but have you considered your player option for next season and what your plans will be?
I have no idea. I got to talk with my camp and everybody and talk with Rob, and we'll see where we go next summer.
You joined a Lakers team that made it to the West Conference Finals. Obviously, you guys made the playoffs this year. If you could point to what you thought was missing from the equation to get as far as you guys wanted to get as a group, what would you say?
I mean, it's a lot of things. First, we just got to be healthy all year. We're missing a lot of key guys throughout the year, and just guys going in and out of the lineup all year just because of health problems and just getting hurt. So, I mean, I feel like that's just the main thing for us.
Jaxson, you mentioned in New Orleans that you studied Anthony Davis on film. What did you learn this year being up close with AD, and how much did his tutelage help, or just you take stuff from his game?
Shoot, I mean, I learned a ton this whole year. I mean, just coming from like individual workouts, like group workouts, me and A, just watching what he does in the games, just like trying to get good positioning on stuff, watching film with him, all types of stuff. So he's just been a huge help all year and been a great role model all year.
Jaxson, I know you just told Dave that you haven't thought about the player option yet, but how have the Lakers helped you grow as a player over this past 8-9 months?
Oh, they definitely helped me grow a ton over this past year. Helped me get a lot of exposure that I wasn't getting before. Helping me try to figure out more of who I am as a player. Even though this year I was more of like a backup role player, which I mean, I know that's not my ceiling, but I mean, it was a good year just to be able to get to play with some good players and just get to learn from greatness all year. So the Lakers helped me a lot with that this year.
Max, obviously shortened rotation for this series in the playoffs. Just wondered, as you were watching, what did you take in? What were you seeing in the locker room, and kind of what were you thinking about the ways where what your skill set is might be able to help this team moving forward?
Yeah, well, I really want to be out there for sure. Tonight sucks just seeing us get eliminated because I really feel like I could help this team, but. I think that's what everybody feels like when they're not playing. Everybody wants to be out there. But, we play really hard. Denver gave us a lot of problems, and I think we adjusted really well over the course of the series. We got, a game last game, and, we're really close this game. So, it's just part of the season, right? So hopefully, have a great summer and try to rebuild and come back stronger.
Darvin, just how do you emotionally, mentally handle that, kind of coming in a similar fashion as game 2 where you're in the lead and things happen? How do you handle that as a team?
It's tough. It's tough, man. Some unfortunate circumstances. A, getting hurt, not having to leave the game per se, but just threw off his natural rotation, his normal rotation. They make that run. We've already challenged the call early in the game, trying to hang on to timeouts just in case we need to challenge again. We may have an extra. And, it's one of those games, man. It's a hell of a team. The defending champs for a reason. I've been saying it the entire year, the entire series. They know how to gut out wins. They've been there before. But I couldn't be more proud of our crew. Despite everything that happened, obviously the series didn't go in our favor. Didn't start out the way we wanted it to. But to win that one at home, fight tooth and nail to try to get this one, our guys showed a lot of guts, a lot of character, and their resilience to continue to fight. But, the intangibles, they got us again. We missed some free throws, gave up some second chance points late. It is what it is. We just got to learn from it, grow from it, be better mentally, spiritually, and physically.
How do you square this last year and change, where you make the push out of the All-Star break, you get to the conference finals, of course, lose to Denver, then this year, up and down, but you make the push late, and then to have it kind of end in similar fashion like this? How do you put all that together?
It's tough, man. The completion of my second year in this seat, it's a lot. Just from the way the year started last year to us getting to the deadline, making the moves we made, trying to make a push on the fly, which we were able to do. Fell short to the champs, same team. Try to maintain our core, some continuity in the summer, which we were able to do, and then the injury bug hit us and just seemed like it wouldn't get off of us there for the first third, maybe half of the season. And, once we start hitting rhythms, it seemed like every time we hit a rhythm, a key piece would fall out of the lineup. But it is what it is, man. I'm not going to feel sorry for myself or ourselves. It's an unbelievable franchise to represent. Couldn't ask for a better governor, a better president of ops than Robert Lincoln, Jeannie Buss. But I've seen a lot in my first 2 years in this seat. So I'll continue to work, get better, and control what I can control.
Darvin, you mentioned AD getting injured, and from training camp, he talked about wanting to play in all 82 games, and that was a thing that I think of the Milwaukee game in March where he gets a similar stinger and plays through it. What can you say about just him, taking it seriously all year and having playing his best basketball this season, arguably in the playoffs, and then also playing it through that, even though his arm was kind of just dangling there for most of the second half?
Just trying to battle through and be there for his team. That's it. The time he put into his body this past off season in particular. And you mentioned it, all of the regular season games he played. I think it may be the most he's played in some time or ever, maybe. I don't know. But just him being the type of person he is, wanting to be there for his group and to do whatever is asked of him. And he represented that the entire season.
Darvin, after Murray hit the shot with like 4.5 seconds or so to go, what was it's a scramble. What was the thinking on your end? And I'm unclear. Did you guys have a timeout?
No, we did not have a timeout.
Got it. So it was just a scramble play, or I don't even know if Taurean's attempts would have counted. Just you walk us through what you saw in that final sequence.
I mean, try to rush it up the floor, try to get into striking distance, and TP try to get a good look. Felt like whoever that was that walked up under him, they're not going to call that call in that type of situation unless it's completely gross. But we tried to get a look up and just didn't work out.
And just as you look back at the year, and obviously coming off the Western Conference Finals a year ago, and there were times, you guys were one of the better teams in the league this year, weren't able to put it together. What would you point your finger to moving forward that this group needs to get to where it wants to be?
Stay healthy. Stay healthy. You take a lot of flack for your rotations and all of that, but rotations are secondary. The primary is health. And when you're losing, you start the season off without key pieces, and you lose some key pieces early. They come back and you lose some more key pieces, and a couple guys have been out 2, 3, 4 times during the course of the year. It's hard to build that continuity. You have all these talented players all along your roster, but to have a set 9, 10 guys, and you lose one, that's one thing, but to have 2, 3, 4 guys missing at different points and times it's tough, and all the while trying to manage a guy that's in his 21st season, another guy in AD that's in his 12th, all of the previous injury history he's been through. Health is as great as a wealth, and that's pretty much it. You got healthy players, you can figure the rest out.
Darvin, the series will say 4-1. We all know it was much closer than that. How do you process that, especially these 2 losses where you easily could have walked out of here with a win? How do you process that flying home?
You just have to sleep on it, collect your thoughts. You don't never want to speak from erratic emotion. So you just soak it all in, watch the game, see what you could have done better, and go from there and be better for it going forward. It sucks to lose and to the same team. I'm happy we broke that ice and was able to get one. But overall, we won a battle. They won the war. And we just got to figure out ways to get better from it.
How do you put in a capsule your 2 years as a head coach for this type of franchise, coaching LeBron and AD at this stages of their career, you being a first-time head coach with the scrutiny that comes with this? How do you capsulize all this tonight?
It's a great question. It's tough. My mind's all over the place right now, so that's a great question, but maybe at some point later on I'll give you an answer. It's been a hell of a 2 years, though, I'll tell you that. Sitting in this seat, it's been a hell of a 2 years. A lot of good things that got done, but ultimately, you want to win that ultimate prize. I know what that feels like. I had that feeling a couple of times. So you want to do everything in your power to prevent to continue to feel this feeling we're feeling now, the feeling of defeat. And so, again, I'm going to control what I can control, continue to grow, and hopefully be a better coach for it.